Tom McDonald,
Here.
Anita Matt,
Present.
Jennifer Finley,
Here.
Jim Molitor,
Here.
Carol Langford, Len Titty, Bing Matt,
Here.
Ellie Bundy,
Present.
Martin Charlo,
Present.
Mike Dolson,
I'm here.
James Dale Senior.
Thank you, Jen. We have a full council today. Jennifer, can I ask you to lead us in a prayer this morning?
Today, I ask for a blessing upon our work that we do for our people, and that we keep the most vulnerable people in mind and in our hearts, so that we may do our best work for all of the members in our tribe and our community. And I ask that we be strong for people who can't be strong, and that we speak for people who cannot speak. And that we always remember why we're here. Love lunch.
Thank you, Jennifer. We have our minutes from the last meeting for you, your considerations.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Anita.
Jen, on page 2 of 5, Anita Matt stated there are no plans to remove any of the buildings. They want to reface and paint the residents' homes. And also on page 3 of 5, where I was talking about the Flathead Extension program, where it starts about in the middle that Anita Matt wants someone from CSKT recommended and get involved with the IAC Youth Council. Anita will text Brenda the contact information for Zane Not Afraid. He's the IAC technical assistant for Montana. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Anita.
Motion to approve the minutes with corrections.
Motion by Len to approve the February 17th council minutes with corrections. Is there a second? Second by Jimmy to approve the February 17th minutes. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take a show of hands for those in favor. Unanimous. Okay, we have our draft agenda before us. Is there any additions to the agenda? I don't see any walk-ins at the moment. Any other items you would like to add right now? Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will do an update and open, please. Thank you.
All right, Martin has one item in open. Any other items of discussion? Carol?
Oh, it's gonna be a report on our meeting that we had down here with Lance
Okay.
on the Dixon.
We'll add a report on the agency cleanup. Planning? Any other items? Jennifer?
I have a little update.
Okay. Jennifer has an update. Any other items? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with additions. A motion by Anita. Is there a second? Second by Mike. Any further discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. Lemnem. Okay, so we'll start with our first agenda item, and that's Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today is 2/22/22. You guys are into numbers and palindromes and things like that. Significant, hopefully brings us luck, brings our membership luck. Our numbers, COVID, we're doing well, better, I guess. I know that locally, to the south of us, I saw that Missoula County was going down. Nationally, it's hopefully, I don't know, hopefully a good sign that we are getting to that point. So right now, I think the more urgent thing right now is to stay warm, keep your pets warm, keep people out that you know are possibly, housing insecure, I guess is what you would call it. Maybe take a moment and, allow them some warm something, it's gonna get colder. It's kind of a scary time of the year. We had this nice warm weather, but we do live in Montana and it is February, and that's usually the coldest month. Hopefully we can continue to, work on our homelessness issue. I know that they're working on some warming centers. Staffing is an issue, and so hopefully they get those stood up as soon as possible. So thank you for the group that's doing that. And then, just, the days are getting longer. Sun is out a little more, try to get out there and enjoy that weather, mental health, check in on people, check in on your family, friends, young ones. We always kind of forget how much they've suffered through this whole pandemic. And now that we're getting back to some normalcy, there's good and bad in that. Face-to-face interaction is great for some, for others, it's hard. Kids can be unkind. So, check on the ones that you think may be struggling, and just people in general. Try to be kind to others. It's a great, nice sunny day out. Maybe go for a drive in your nice warm car. And I would suggest walking, but that might be limit your outdoor exposure, especially your, bare skin. Frostbite can happen very quickly. There's an Olympian that could probably tell you all about that. I won't get into the details. You can Google it. So thank you guys, and have the great 20/02/22/22. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Great reminder on the weather. It's going to get pretty darn cold, probably our coldest night this year tonight. So yeah, please check on your neighbor, check on your family, maybe run your water in your pipes. A lot of things to be careful for, your pets, livestock. Hopefully those folks that are out there calving are doing okay. Don't have any, certainly not jealous of that right now, this kind of weather. So next up, we have Carol and Anita on the agency cleanup planning.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a field trip planned for Wednesday at 1 o'clock to go down and just take a look and be on the ground and just get a good feel for what needs to be done down there. We will have, and I don't know if this was actually addressed in the meeting, but we need to have the culture committees. And the culture committees look at the naming and legal, whether it's what the legalities of, let's say we were going to do a renaming. I know that hasn't been decided, but just to look into it. And then we also asked, there was about 10 of us in the room, and we're looking at pricing of everything that we're going to be doing, like the tree removal. I know Tom had said that he was going to do the plant. Chairman McDonald was going to look at the planning for the boat launch and the interpretive trail. Martin, I think, was going to take a look at the trail. And so I don't know even how that part of it starts, but I think, Tom, you can help us get started on that. We haven't addressed the lawn mowing, but I was hoping that maybe everybody in this organization that has a lawnmower can hopefully volunteer somebody to come down and help get that all mowed up. And the volunteers, I'm thinking, will be the ones that will do all the cleanup of the brush and all of that kind of stuff. So, and then I've also asked Zane and Pitts if he would look at moving not me, we asked if he could look at the People Center pavilion, or not pavilion, arbor, and do an assessment of the post and see what that's gonna cost to get it moved and set up and have it be safe when we take it down there. And then Mark was gonna do an RFP on the lead-based paint. Was that the paint? Do you remember, Anita?
Actually, I had been asked to get a hold of Mary Rose
Oh,
Morgeau
yeah.
to see if she could go down and look at the residents and take some of the shavings from the paint so that we could send them in and see if it did contain any asbestos or lead, because there's a certain way that it has to be removed. It has to be scraped and picked up. You can't just let it lay there. So I got a hold of Mary Rose and she hasn't contacted me back yet, but also to get a price per unit so we can get a better pricing.
We also talked, if we needed to wait on the painting of the homes, we'll make sure that it's done properly. And then Mark was gonna do an RFP, I believe, on the tree removal. But a lot of this is just gathering costs so we can get an amount to Rick, so he'll have an idea of what this is gonna cost overall. We're kind of following the lead of what Len said, that, council could figure out how to pay for it if we needed to. So, but we can't do that until we can figure out costs and stuff. So that's basically what we're doing, is trying to figure that out. And we selected a date of March. What was it? It was April 23rd. And I think it's a Wednesday through a Friday, and we thought we could at least get change of duty to have employees also, if they wanted to assist, to help us in this endeavor. Because this is not going to be the only community I think this is going to go on. This is just the one we're tackling. So we're just hoping this gets a movement started for other communities that will all get together and do some work in.
Were you going to ask like the college or Tweedle River School for staff? I know the college does big cleanup days.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're getting everybody. I mean, Two Eagles definitely a key player in all of this because of the school, and school used to be down there and stuff. So yeah, I think everybody's going to be included. And I've also asked Shane Morgeau to kind of get up to speed on this so he could do some flyers and do some publicity for us to get the word out on volunteers, but we haven't nailed it down enough to quite do that yet. So
Comment.
Go ahead, Len.
So Carol and Anita, just a suggestion. Maybe we might want to reach out to Division of Fire. I know during that time of the year, they're always looking for projects to keep the crew busy until fire season picks up. And I think and they would be able to, potentially remove some of the trees up there and things like that. But anyway, just a thought.
I thought that was an excellent suggestion too, until I brought it up to somebody and they said it's a process. It's not something you can just come in and say, we're going to have Dixon. They have to write a whole plan and then have it approved and this and that. And so if you're looking at doing something a little sooner, that's probably not the route to go. Fire departments might be, if we have people go in and pile the brush and stuff, then we have them come in and burn it, or we just burn it ourselves with a burning permit. is what I thought we could do, because I don't think there's that much, but I think we'll assess that when we go down there. Martin, you're shaking your head. Can you jump in here?
Which part? I mean, let's do. The agency isn't. I love this, again, love this momentum, but I feel like, I'm just trying to think of how many houses are still even down there. You know, housing should be an integral part of this. You know, housing has units down there. You know, the tree removal, has been needed for years. But let's focus on just the cleanup and, you know, getting that part done. You know, I was looking at the other day, the junk vehicle thing. I don't, other than 1 or 2 lots, maybe there's junk vehicles there. You know, the mowing, we could mow, but really the time that we need to mow is during the summer. You know, it's great that we're gonna throw all this at there in the spring, but it needs to be continued. I mean, we gotta think of sustainability and longevity of this. You know, we do this, we go into a community, we go into a place and we shine it up, and then we walk away from it and it just stops. So, you know, like the renaming, the boat launch, those are things that are years down the road. I mean, you know, so let's focus on the task at hand and just focus on the kind of the micro. And, you know, we have 2 months. I'm sure fire control could be involved in 2 months. You know, it's, you know, the big thing I would worry about right now is that there's a group of kids down in that, you know, community that needs somewhere to go. You know, I mean, especially like right now, where do they go to hang out? They hang out on the basketball court until it gets dark. You know, they can't do that in this cold, you know, so, you know, they're gonna go wherever. So let's, you know, start thinking about a staffing plan to open up that community center. You know, let's keep the meetings going on down there. Let's, you know, I'm not trying to throw a wet blanket on this, but we have these plans and we got to make sure that they're sustainable, and we can't just throw band-aids at communities and then walk away. So that's my big encouragement is let's stay involved with them.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Anita.
Thank you, Martin. Actually, I went and drove through the other day and there's a hell of a lot of cleanup. We talked about getting Republic and getting dumpsters and stuff. We did involve Salish Kootenai Housing Authority, although Jody wasn't able to hit the meeting last Thursday. They've already went through and recited their units. So what we're concentrating on is the older residents and the people who want help there. I think the biggest thing is we need to get the community involved, and I'm hoping tomorrow with the meeting that we're having at 6 o'clock, my district meeting, that we can get some input from the residents. We have to have their involvement and their engagement. And I realize it's something that we do almost every year. Of course, COVID hit and we haven't been able to have our cleanup now almost 2 years. So I'm hoping that we can figure out something with the community. And I do realize they do need something to do, the kids. And we're hoping with Pat, Matt and DHRD that we can start getting activities going down there and getting it thriving again. But I was gonna say our district meeting did not get put in the paper. When I sent it to Sam, he thought that it was in a planning stage and didn't get it in the paper. So we're gonna have to get that word out. But we were gonna have the Flathead irrigation update and the update on the land ordinance and registration of the water rights. And then also safety of dams is gonna come down and talk about their road improvement. So hopefully we'll get enough residents there to give us some ideas about what they want, and what they think will work. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Len.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. I just want to commend both of you for stepping up and taking on this project. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it needs to start somewhere. And as leaders, you both have stepped up. And I just want to, I'm proud of you guys. I'm very supportive. And would like, make sure that this council is able to provide whatever resources that you guys need to get this done. Because yes, it is a lot of work. It is the issue of sustaining it and keeping it maintained. That'll be an issue. But the fact of the matter is, once we get these areas cleaned up, our intent is to make the residents there proud of the area, and they will take that initiative to keep it clean, to make sure that to do what they need to do. But I just want to say thank you too for stepping up and doing the work that you're doing, because I know you girls been taking time off, on your own time, planning and doing things like this. So thank you.
Carol?
Yeah, thanks, Lynn, for calling us girls. Made me feel good, even though Martin's bubble buster, their kind of burster kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. But this isn't just me and Anita's. This has been going on for years. People have been thinking about this cleanup. A lot of people, not just us two or Pat. And we want to make sure that everybody's included. But this is the first time since I've been here that I can really see the possibilities, because we have funding. We can see that there's going to be money out there to do things. Before, everything we did, even an education plan we had, was an unfunded mandate. We couldn't do anything. And now I can see the potential of maybe a smaller Boys and Girls Club being down there. I can see some things going on with the river that Beldina Morjo, anyway, she's Sonny's granddaughter. She was talking about some things she would like to do down there. And I just see the possibility of people wanting to make a difference. And it's okay. I think Martin, keeps us on our toes and makes us think about, it sounds easy, but it's not. And we do need a lot of volunteers, and we just appreciate whoever is involved in the whole thing. And the basketball court, somebody mentioned that it needs to be lit. I don't know if there is I don't even know if there's a court down there. So there is. Good. We were going to put lights up there too. So there's things we're looking at. But thank you, everybody, for your comments.
Martin?
And Carol, maybe it's just my mood today. I'm really excited about it. It is. No, it's just been already a crazy morning. And I guess what I'm coming from too is I've gone to the district meetings the last couple of times, and this is what the residents are saying. Is this happened. Housing had a crew down there, and they were gonna do all these big things, and they had a group and they walked the whole agency, and here we are. I can't disagree with Sonny about tearing down that blue building. I mean, that was one of the craziest things, to tear down a functional building, but anyway, that's beside the point. Let's change our history. Let's change our what we do. I got a lot of faith in you guys. But again, it's that community buy-in, and that's why I'm saying get housing involved. Let's really truly engage these, the people that live down there, and let's, get them an actual lawnmower that someone down there could do that. Let's, give them the tools that they need instead of just an idea. You can't do much with an idea and no funding, like Carol said. And so, yeah, this is an exciting time, but again, I want to make sure that, it's a shiny object right now, but, in 2 years, if we're in the same point, same, thing with the agency, then what is that? It's, my dad's lived down there for, Jesus, 20 some years. I don't know how old I am, probably almost 30 years. I've seen the rise and fall of mainly the fall of the agency, pretty much only the fall of the agency. And so, let's stay on it. That's all I'm saying. Let's not, you bite off more than we can chew. Let's not bite off more than the community can chew, because that's really what it's on. The community is going to be the ones that maintain this. That basketball court, it's less than a half court and it's a full court basketball. Like that's something that Zane and Pitts and I are going to take. We talked about that 2 years ago when I first got on the council. About doing that and not just that court. All the courts in every community. Each little housing have got about the same mini blacktop court with rims that, maybe they have rims. Most of them don't have, nets. And it's like, we talk about it and then it just goes away. We get grant funding and it goes away. So this should be institutionalized within our budgets to go forward for each community. And I hope that, we don't forget about any communities, especially our more populous ones. The ones that have, Rona and Pablo. Let's not forget about our communities. And I've been neglecting our, Pablo, because I keep saying there's a basketball court going in down here, but that hasn't happened because of COVID. And, it's, so maybe this whole me being down on things is me being down on myself for not doing more for my community. So when it's time, I hope there's that same commitment to each community when we bring them forward and, let's go. I'll be there to help. I may bring this positive attitude, but I'll be there. Thank you.
Ellie, then Anita.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just also want to applaud your efforts in this project and am excited to help, and we'll try to make it down for the field trip on Wednesday, but we have to start somewhere. And so I hope you stay encouraged and know that this is really an amazing thing. It tells that community that we care, and we're starting somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Basic cleanup is somewhere to start, and the field trip will probably flesh out more that needs to be done, but at least then you'll have a better idea about what's manageable, and hopefully the community does get engaged. And I do hope this is something that we can take to every community, even if we're just starting at ground level. So thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Ellie, for that. One of the biggest things I think as a council that we can do is to make sure that land ordinance gets done. Because right now that's half of the problem. We talk about everybody's responsibilities, with the tribal lands department and housing and every other thing. That land ordinance is the document that helps us once we get this thing cleaned up for every community, not just Dixon agency. There's problems in every home site. But as soon as we get that land ordinance done, it gives our departments the teeth to do something and manage. So once we get it cleaned up, that might be all it takes. And then just the engagement of the community wanting to keep it that way. And Dixon's been forgotten, just like we all said, once the agency moved out of there, it just went downhill for, like Martin said, he's watched it for 30 years, and so have I with my mother-in-law living down here. All it takes is one, and I certainly don't want to stop with one, home site. I want to try to give that to every home site. You know, people have pride. Get your house painted up and the yard done and, you know, I mean, it gives them pride and maybe it'll get other people to where that they do want to live down here. But what we need to concentrate on is that land ordinance. So if we want to give them something, let's get that land ordinance done and complete. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita. Thanks, Carol, for the update on planning and yeah, great momentum you have going on. And it is a new day and we don't want to lose the effort that you're going to put out there, or we're all going to put out there. We want to make it sustainable and we don't want to waste that effort. So I think that's as Martin mentioned, we really need to make sure we don't lose it. That doesn't retract back and carry forward. So it is, what's different today about Dixon and the agency that wasn't there 2 years ago? We have an agency presence. We have an agency presence at Mowing at the Bison Range. So right next door, we have tribal staff, tribal budget. We have people with mowers and workers and all kinds of things. It's just a matter of thinking bigger or changing the paradigm. And so there's more support that we can bring to the table to agency that wasn't there 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So you do have a new day-to-day on how we plan. You do have a new day-to-day on what's available from water settlement, compact funding, other things that we can utilize from other revenues. So I really encourage you to continue. It's going to be fun. And I hope we're very successful. So next on the agenda, Jennifer.
Thank you, Chairman McDonald. I just have a little update. Somebody reached out to me, a diabetes staff person from Tribal Health, and asked me to serve on the Tribal Leaders Diabetes Committee, and I said that I would. I just wanted to, I didn't know what the protocol for that was, but I just thought it sounded like a cool thing to be involved in, and I've worked in diabetes prevention activities through my yoga classes before. So it's definitely something that's important to me.
Thank you, Jennifer. Let us know. I don't see any conflict there. I don't, unless council does. That I would think we would all concur with your stepping up and volunteering to be on there. So I think everybody's shaking their heads. They agree. So thank you for doing that. Okay. We'll go to our agenda items. Maybe we're a little early. I don't know if they're available. They are? Okay. Well, let's go to Quinn and Rich.
Hi, good morning, council. I'm by myself. I spoke with Rich last week, and he said I could just go ahead and talk by myself. What I'm requesting is,
I'm here.
oh, sorry, Rich.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I see you. Okay. I'm requesting a person that the council could assign to me. I'm working on building an interpretive center at Three Forks, where the headwaters of the Missouri River begin. There's going to be a new state park interpretive center. It's located right by the river and the Buffalo Jump. And we as an FWP want some cultural voices to be heard. And so who could you appoint to work with me throughout this process and this construction to represent your tribes? And if you don't have to give me a name today, but maybe within the next couple of weeks. And then throughout this process, there's other projects that are happening throughout the state that I don't think it's adequate that I speak on your behalf. And so who could this person be that could, relay messages to you for anything culturally or historic that represents your tribes?
Well, thank you for seeking consultation and input from the tribes. Really appreciate that. I think in regard to some of this, our Historic Preservation Office would need to be involved. And I know our Salish Culture Committee staff have some really good information, and they already have a bunch of brilliant signs and texts that are available to put out there in different locations. Thompson Smith's been working pretty hard on that. But I would rely on Clayton Matt and his direction under those departments and committees on how he would want to facilitate that. But that would be my first overlook on it and recommendation. Len?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to include Vernon Finley and Francis Ald. Francis has mentioned to me on a few occasions that he wanted to start a project similar to this, where he would, where we would identify the landscapes and how they correlate with our creation stories. And I think this would be a good opportunity here to start a project like that. So I would, I'll defer to them too also.
Can you tell me Francis's last name again?
Francis Ald,
Okay.
ULD.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll reach out to those folks and keep you posted. But that's all I needed your time for, council.
Okay, Quinn. Yeah, they're all under the organizational chart under Clayton Matt. So
Okay.
Clayton will be the key person.
So, Mr. Chair, can I make a comment real quick?
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, when she talked to me, I kind of, or I did mention the culture committees and the preservation office that she would need to talk to, but it's kind of cool because she is an SKC grad and doing good work. So we look forward to working with her in the future.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Chairman.
You're welcome. Yeah, keep up the good work. And
Thank you. You guys stay safe
you too. It's probably
and warm. It's 20 below over here, so hopefully you guys are warmer.
was just gonna say that. It's gotta be colder over there. You know, we tease our one council representative from where the sun always shines, Dixon. And but today, that high pressure system's kind of letting the cold air through. A little cloud cover might be good.
You
Anyway,
guys take care. Thank you.
We'll see you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the council.
Okay, we're on a break. Take a quick break before our next one comes up.